A sick day for Amos McGee. Amos McGee was an elderly riser. Was an early riser. Every morning when the alarm clock clanged, he swung his legs out of bed and swapped his pajamas for a fresh pressed uniform. He would wind his watch and set a pot of boiling water, saying to the sugar bowl, "A spoonful for my oatmeal, please, and 2 for my teacup." Belly full and ready for the workday, he ambled out the door. The next day, Amos waited for the number 5 bus. Every day. Sorry, I got corrected. Thank you, Grace. "Next stop, City Zoo," the bus driver would call. 6 a.m., right on time, he'd reply. Amos had a lot to do at the zoo, but he always made time to visit his good friends. He would play chess with the elephant, who thought and thought before making a move. He ran races with the tortoise, who never ever lost. Sit quietly with the penguins, who was very shy. Lend a handkerchief to the rhinoceros, who always had a runny nose. Our dog always has a runny nose too, right, Odin? He's going a little crazy right now. And at sunset, read stories to the owl, who was afraid of the dark. One day, Amos awoke with the sniffles and sneezes and the chills. He swung his achy legs out of bed, curled them back up again, and said, "Ugh, I don't think I'll be going to work today." Or he got coronavirus. Meanwhile, at the zoo, the animals waited for their friend. The elephant rearranged his pawns and polished his castles. The tortoise stretched his legs and limbered up. The penguin sat patiently all by himself. The rhinoceros worried about his allergies worsening, and the owl perched on top of the stack of storybooks, scratching his head with concern. "Where's Amos?" the animals wondered. Later that day, they waited. They waited at the bus. Poor animals. Looks like they got on the number 5 bus. Silly animals. Hooray! My good friends are here. The elephant prepared a game of chess. Amos thought and thought before making a move. "I'm too tired to run races today," said Amos to the tortoise. "Let's play hide and seek instead." The tortoise hid inside his shell. Amos hid beneath the covers. Amos yawned. "I could use a nap." The penguin sat quietly, keeping Amos's feet warm. Oh, what a good penguin. Achoo! Amos awoke with a sneeze. The rhinoceros was ready with a handkerchief. What a nice guy. "I'm beginning to feel much better. Thank you," said Amos to his friends. He swung his legs out of bed. "Perhaps we'll share a pot of tea." Amos wound his alarm clock. "It's getting late," he said. "After all, we have the morning bus to catch." So Amos said goodnight to the elephant, and goodnight to the tortoise, and goodnight to the penguin, and goodnight to the rhinoceros, and goodnight to the owl, who, knowing that Amos was afraid of the dark, read a story out loud for him and turning out the light. And good night, Odin. Good night, Grace. And good night, Tiana, if she's watching. And good night, Yoda.